Good afternoon, student. In our previous lecture, we studied the plant disease, citrus canker, and red rot of sugarcane. Now, in this lecture, this is our last lecture for this unit. In this lecture, we also study the two more disease, that is the black stem rust of wheat and the tobacco mosaic disease. Okay, so first one is the black stem rust of wheat. The causative agent, that is the Puccinia graminis triticea, that is the most important species of rust family, and it is a fungi. Economic point of view, development of mycological research, that is the most important species of the rust family. Disease is more common in India. In India, first is in northern India, black rust appear in March, and in a southern and the peninsular India appears in November. Life cycle of the Puccinia graminis. Okay, the different spore stage is observed in a Puccinia graminis. First one is the in a summer season, right? First is the teleospore in winter season, that is the basidiospore springs, and then the basidiospores are released, and it observed on the Puccinia on the barberries plant. This is the another host, and in a barberries plant the Piscinospores is observed. Asias on barberries plant, and the barberries on the barberries plants the acidiospores is formed. Acidiospore is now converted into the urideospore, and the urideospores is now asexual cycle in a summer, and the urideospores is now attached to a wheat plant and cause the disease. Okay, it is the life cycle of the Puccinia graminis. Puccinia graminis spurs of sp. tritici arix, and hence is a heterogeneous long cycle rust that has the common Barberries vulgaris and Barberries canadensis, Barberries fendleri, and the Monia species as a alternate host. Means Puccinia graminis is infected to the wheat plant and also another host, that is the barberries, and a different species of the barberries plant. Important rust occurring in India are the first one is the black stem rust of wheat and the barley grains, yellow rust of the wheat and barley, and a brown rust of wheat. Now, the pathogen, a section through a patch on a leaf shows that the particles of a yellow powder are the spores. When we show the symptoms of the on a wheat plant, so we take a patches of the leaf in a yellow powder is observed, that is the spores of the Puccinia graminis. Spores research born on a short hypha, and that hyphae is now form the mycelium. Hyphae later arise from a network of a slender, sparsely septate hyphae constituting the mycelium, and this mycelium which ramify in a intracellular spaces of the soft tissues between the leaf veins and obtain food from the cells by means of a smaller tubular hostia. Okay, we all know, we show the figure in the last lecture, right? When we see the fungal spore is enter into the plant parts and they cause the disease. In the same way, the simple plant having the plant leaf which is having the powdery form material, it's a fungal spore, and this spore is in a spores research born on a short hyphae, and this hyphae is later arise from the network slenders, and these slenders now form the septate hyphae, and this hyphae constituting the mycelium, and this mycelium is enter into the intracellular space of the soft tissue between the leaf venus and obtain the food from the cells by means of a smaller tubular hostia. Okay. Now, stages of development of spore. In a first stage, that is the whole process divided into the 5 different stages. The first stage, that is the in a wheat plant, acidospores germinates on a wheat. Later, the dikaryotic hyphae from the Uridia bearing the uridospore. The first stage on the wheat plant, that is from the acidospore germinate, and these acidospores now is later produce the dikaryotic hyphae and form the uridia bearing the uridospores. In a second stage, also on the in a wheat plant, seasonal changes triggers the formation of a tilia or a Teleosteus bearing the teleospores in the place of the uridospores. Now, uridospores is converted in the seasonal changes, the teleospores. In a third stage, it also occurs in a wheat plant. The teleospore produce the promycelia bearing the basidiospores in the basidium. Okay, and the fourth stage, now the basidiospores is converted transfer into the barberry plant. The basidiospores germinate forming extensive hyphae with the spermogonia or pycenia bearing the pycniospore respective the hyphae. Later, the nucleus of the opposite strain remain in the common protoplasm without fusion, forming the dicaryons. And in the last stage, on the barberry plant, acidia bearing the acidiospores produced in a lower leaf surface of the barberry insects the wheat plant again. Okay, so now the germinate the basidiospores is now converted into the again the acidiospores. Acidia is occurs on the lower leaf of this lower surface of the leaf of the barberry plant, and it's now ready to infect the another wheat plants. Symptoms of the black rust of the wheat plant. Uridia and tilia occurs on the stem, leaf sheath, leaf blades, glumes, and the braids. Uridia are reddish and the clumps become the ruptured, pushed back around the pistules. It giving a jagged or a ragged appearance like a scratching type or and exposing the uridospores. Tilia appears just before the plant maturations, mostly on the leaf sheath, and the clumps observes the tilia. They are oblongs on to linear, dark brown to the black color. When the spores is germinated, the color is converted into yellow to the black, and it's known as the black rust of the wheat. Teleospores are exposed after rupturing of the leaf or the stem of epidermis. Now see the picture, that is the black stem rust in a wheat. This is the the black color observed on the stem of the wheat plant, which is the acidiospores, which occurs the teleospores or the black color appearing. Now in a next slide we will see the environments and the incidence of rust. The disease develops if the abundant supply of the inoculum is available in a particular locality. The disease develops when its a particular inoculum is available. Iridospores constitute the primary inoculum. Iridospores used as the primary inoculum. Occurrence of a disease depends on the reaching of inoculum to the host plants. Iridospores is now used as the inoculum, and when the disease occurs, the iridospores is reaching, means inoculum is reaching to the host cell and they cause the disease, then the disease is occurs. That depends on the two main factors, that is the height of the host plant and the directions and the velocity of wind carrying the spores to the plains. Because of the iridospores is a transfer from the barberry plant to the host wheat plant. Third one is the inoculations period from the initial host releasing the spores and reaching to the another host. Duration of the iridospore formation. This is the main the factors which affect the disease development. Now, the second one is the tobacco mosaic disease. In tobacco mosaic disease, we will see the introduction, pathogens, symptoms, control measures, and the control methods. Okay. Now, in introduction, the disease of the tobacco is caused by the mechanical transmission of viruses, that is the tobacco mosaic virus. We all know about the tobacco mosaic virus. The virus commonly persists in a air-dried tobacco and infected residues in the field in the absence of freezing, desiccation, or a complete rotting. The virus is completely persists in a dry tobaccos and infected residues. The virus is constantly appear on the constantly appear in the tobacco plant parts. Okay. Tobacco mosaic virus is disseminated mechanically. Workers who chew or smoke tobacco or handle the infected residues or weed host then touch tobacco plants are a primary sources of the dissemination of the TMV virus. Spread occur during the tillage, suckerings or other field operations. Grasshopper and the leafhopper which is transmit the disease. The disease is widespread in India and a mosaic cause more damage in the south. Dr. Stanley was awarded Nobel Prize for the crystallizing the virus in 1935, which preparing a non-living salt form of the virus particle, which could in a turn reproduce the TMV virus as a living entity when its a favorable condition is occur. Now the pathogen. We all know the pathogen is the virus, a mechanical transmissible single-stranded RNA virus, which is we will see in the figure, that is the structure of the TMV virus, a mechanically transmissible single-stranded RNA virus which is pathogenic for a wide range of the plant species. The tubular variants consist of RNA 5% and protein 95% by its weight. The means the total weight of the virus, in which the 5% is the RNA material and the 95% is made up of the protein. The RNA, which comprises some 6300 nucleotides, occurs as a helix of a radius 4 nanometer and a pitch 2.5 nanometer approximately, means RNA molecules which is made up of the 6300 nucleotides, which is occurs the helix-like structures of the 4 nanometer diameter and the pitch 2.5 nanometers. RNA is an helical array of 2100 identical protein code subunits. Each subunit consists of a single polypeptide chain in which there is a high proportion of the aspartic acid, glutamic acid, serine, and threonine. We all know the polypeptide chain or the protein is made up of the amino acid. In a TMV virus structure, the subunit is made up of the polypeptide chain. In this polypeptide chain, the aspartic acid, glutamic acid, serine, and threonine is a more amount. The proportion of this amino acid is a high. Reconstitution of the TMV virus from its isolated components has been carried out in vitro. Assembly of the protein subunits commences at the 5' terminal of the RNA. We are reconstitute the TMV virus in vitro, in which the assembly of the protein subunits which commences at the 5' terminal of the RNA. It is highly infectious virus which can withstand heat up to the 90 degrees Celsius and can remain active even in a proceed tobacco, cigarettes and cigars for more than 25 years. So this virus is very infectious. At a high temperature it can not even inactive. In a 90 degrees Celsius, it remains active conditions. And if the tobacco is now proceed in a tobacco, cigarettes and the cigar, this virus is active conditions in a long period of time, that is the 25 years. Now the symptoms. Field strain of the virus usually produces a systemic disease, formation of a distorted blister leaves bearing a patches of the light and dark green. Chlorosis may not be evident. Intracellular bodies are generally formed. Other strain of the virus, that is the TMP, may cause the non-systemic infections, the local lesions being formed. In a systemic disease, we will see the blisters or the dark green or a light green color or the brownish color spots or a blister on the lips or the patches occurs on the lips. Local lesions do not form on inoculated leaves, but under a high temperature and the light conditions, small circular chlorotic spots may occur. Systemic infection first causes a vein clearing of the youngest leaf. Eventually, leaf becomes the mottled and the distorted. The outer leaf edges turn slightly towards forming a rim around the leaf. When the diseases occur, virus is infected to the healthy plant. The leaf is now slightly curved on the surface, peripheral surface. Eventually, large blister of the green tissues and raised or shrunken yellow areas may develop together with a marked mottling of a dark and light green color. Considerable malformations and the distortions also occur. The lamina of the leaf may be so reduced that a shoestrings effect is produced. Like lamina of the leaf is after infecting the virus, it looks like a shoestring effect. Now the control measures. Laborers should disinfect their hands and the tools with the Lysol. The laborer must not smoke or the chew tobacco while working in the field. The disease is not amenable to chemical. For the mitigates the effects of the TMV is to rough out the affected plants and burn the trash and the debris and maintain the sanitary conditions in the field. Means the laborer which is work in the tobacco field, it should disinfect their hands and the tools with the Lysols. They do not smoke, must not smoke or chew tobacco while working in the field, and to mitigate the or to control the effect of the TMV, we rough out the infected plants and burn the trace amount or the debris to maintain the sanitary conditions. Important control measures are the given below. Plant-based soil should be fumigated with the chemical that kills weed and inactivates the viruses. Weeds should be controlled in and around the plant beds. Laborers should not use the tobacco while working in the seed bed. Spray plant bed with the milk 24 hours before the pulling. Laborers should be dip hands in milk every 20 minutes while working with the seedling. Tobacco should be rotated every 2 years in a field with the tomato plants. Rough out may infected plants prior to the first cultivations, and the last one is the plant resistant cultivars is used. That all are the common important control measures which we should use for the controlling the disease. Now the control methods can be categorized as those that eliminate the primary inoculum, that reduce the secondary spread within plantings, and minimize the effect of the inoculation or the infections. So we all know the plant diseases divided or the categorized in the two parts, that is the primary inoculum and the secondary is the spread out the disease. So first, we control measures or control the primary inoculums effect. So we already minimize the effect of the infections. Common practices to reduce the primary inoculum that survives in a association with the seeds, soil, and the debris. Weeds, smoking tobacco products, and contaminated clothing, tools, equipments, and plant growing structures, that all are the primary inoculum. Then we should the sanitize all the equipment, clothings, and the contaminated clothings and equipment, tools by the Lysol and the any other sanitizer. Minimize the seed-borne inoculum by using the 2 years old seeds in place of the freshly harvested seeds. We minimize the seed-borne inoculum, so the 2 years old seeds are more preferable than the freshly harvested seeds, because in a 2 years, if the seeds are infected by the TMV virus, the symptoms is appeared on it. The first is the seed treatment. The first, remove the inoculum or minimize the effect of the inoculum to reduce the seed-borne TMV by a hydrochloric acid seed extraction procedures, and the post-extraction treatment by with the trisodium orthophosphate. By the HCl hydrochloric acid extractions, the procedure involves the treating pulp or seeds with the 1/4 volume of the concentrated HCl for the 30 minutes, and then after the seed is not extracted with the HCl, can be treated in a 10% of the trisodium orthophosphate solution for the 20 minutes of with a 1% aqueous solution of the trisodium orthophosphate for the 15 minutes again, followed by the 0.525% sodium hydrochlorides for the 30 minutes. That is the extractions procedure for the seed treatment. Now the another, it's a simple procedure, the extraction procedure. First we dip or the pulp of the seeds, which is soaked into the 1/4 volume of the concentrated HCl for 30 minutes. The extracted seed is not properly extracted, then it is soaked or extracted out into the 10% trisodium orthophosphate solution for 20 minutes. Then with 1% aqueous solution of the trisodium orthophosphate for the 15 minutes. And in the last stage or a last step of the extraction procedure, the 525% of the sodium hydrochloride for the 30 minutes. Heat treatment, that is the internal seed bond TMV, can be reduced by the dry heat treatment. Heating seeds in an oven at the 158 Fahrenheit for 22 to 70 days for the more effective. If a treatment is given to these seeds for the 35 days, it is less effective than the 70 days incubation. Okay, effect on the germination, when care is taken to treat only the air dry seeds and to ensure the rapid loss of moisture by the ventilation of the oven, then the 35 days heated seeds are used for the cultivations. For reduce the soil-borne inoculum, possible grow tomato in the artificial soil mix or in a soil not recently planted to the crop susceptible to the TMV at least the 2 years. The plantations or a plant is changing by the possible the soil borne inoculum, then the tobacco, after the cultivations of the tobacco we will grow the artificial soil mixer in a tomatoes for the TMV at least the 2 years. In a greenhouse, use the fork to remove the roots from the permanent beds because of the if the infection is occur in the root, it is possible to occur in the next generations. Steam treatment of these soils also given in a greenhouse soil bed. Methyl bromide based chemical fumigant for the control of the TMV in our soils. So we can spray the methyl bromide. Laborers should take care while the working in the greenhouses for the reduce the secondary spread once the TMV is introduced into the plants. Before seedling are prick out the spray plants with the skim milk. Wash hand with the milk but do not dip seedlings into the milk. Clothes should wash with the soapy water which laborer should walk in the field. Now third is the artificial inoculations of the tomato plants. Minimize the effect of the TMV inoculation in a greenhouses has been early artificial inoculation of tomato plants with selected of artificially induced weak strain of a TMV that has little effect on a plant growth and the yield. To minimize the TMV inoculation in a greenhouses, we are using the early artificial inoculation of the tomato, which is induce the weak strain of the TMV effect, that is the growth and the yield products. These methods strongly inhibit the infection of the second strain. Okay, so hope you all are the understand all the lectures, and we will finish this unit at this lecture. Thank you.